Hey man, it's good to actually see you and meet you in person, kind of thing, instead of the old message on Facebook. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, likewise. Glad to be doing this.
Excellent. How's your day been, man? Has it been all right?
Yeah, we're what do you call it? Gearing up now, leaving in a week. Still at work here in Malmo, Sweden. We have regular jobs beside our rock star careers.
I know all of
Uh, yeah. So no, I think it's some stuff still to take care of and last minute stuff organizing. But for us, it's we're well rehearsed and have a good set. When you're looking back at some older songs because it's first time in this territory.
Yeah.
So yeah, I talked to someone from another magazine and it was like it's a little bit different because when we do Europe we can we play the new songs, but now we have to look back. It's like it's a little bit different.
We got a lot of catching up to do, bro.
I think so, and I think we have to. It's a little bit. We're like what do you call it, a black sheep in the genre. Do you have that expression? You can say that.
I do. Yeah. But I think what you guys do is very, very good. I like you guys a lot.
Thank you. So they put it in a special, the stoner rock families kind of can be a narrow road to travel, and it's not really allowed to go, but we made that the first records and then we tried to do something else, and that's maybe why we're still around. My point was that we have to look what kind of night we're playing, if it's like what kind of crowd it is, and adjust the set a little bit from what we're get from the vibe from the audience and everything. So we have a lot of experience, but it's something new there, so we have to like feel the vibe of the night, and then we can adjust the set.
See, that's the thing about you guys that I like is, you are quite diverse musically. You do go into some different areas, especially on this new album, which I'll get to very soon. But I guess not many people, that's a smart thing to say, is like not many bands will just go out and go, this is our set. You'll like it, or out you go. You know what I mean? Where you seem like you're approaching it in a very smart way, where it's like you're reading the room, how the vibe of the gig is, and you're tailoring your set to that. That's very, very cool. And I think more bands sort of need to do that instead of just go, this is our set and that's how it's going to go. I like that.
Yeah. And we had to consider this, when we're 6 records in, it's not easy to pick a set, and we're not the same band as we were 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There are new members, and everyone have their opinion what we're good at or should do. So it's sometimes it can be tough also when we come to a place where we played many times and know the crowd, what we're going to do, and what's the everyone knows the point of the night, but the meaning, what we want to deliver that night. Is it like just marketing for a new record, or it's like greatest hits night, but since there are kind of different events on this tour in Australia, so we have to look on this, if it's like typical stoner doom heavy or really alternative night, then we have these songs that fits really perfect, and from experience we know that it works. We have some songs in the set that takes the set off, make it to the next step, and then we have some specific endings of the set. So those we're throwing in when it's needed. But if it's like a headlining show and it's a normal rock night, then we're not really that depending on those few songs that get it together, tied up. What do you say? Yeah. So it's more work now than 10 years ago with the set list, no matter where we are. Yeah.
I mean, I guess, do you look at the supports and go, okay, so does that sort of help you give you an indication on how things are going to go? Because I know there's some bands that you're playing down here that are a little heavier. There's some
Yeah,
that are a little bit more, I guess, alternative.
yeah.
Like for instance, there's the Astro Death Boys. Shout out to those guys. Love them. They are like good pals of mine. But they've got their sound, and it is live. They are quite heavy. But then you've
Yeah,
got like I think you're also playing with I think it's these four walls. Yeah, these
yeah.
four walls and the guy who are also buddies of mine.
Mm.
They're quite heavy, but they're more leaning towards the alternative sort of side in some ways. So when you're
Mm.
playing with these bands, do you go, okay, so we're looking at the supports, so we're going to try and tailor the set that way, or is it more to do with the overall room? Is what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's the overall room. If we, yeah, looking at the crowd, but of course it has to do with the bands that we're playing with because people are going there because of them also.
Hmm.
So uh, that affects the crowd also, what kind of crowd it is. So, but yeah, the overall vibe, I would say we have to take a check first because and then we can adjust the set after that. But um yeah, more the crowd than the bands. But of course the bands affect the crowd who's there. So it's like logic that it goes has to do with each other.
That's exciting though.
Mm.
That makes it exciting.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see you guys, especially in,
yeah,
in my neck of the
thank,
woods on the Gold Coast, at
yeah.
Moe's, which is like one of the best damn venues we have. Shout out to Christian, one of the best dudes around. But I tell
Yeah,
you
it
what,
looks very nice. Yeah,
man, I've played there quite a few times, and it's one of my favorite places to play. It's just, you know, it's just got the best vibe. I love it.
yeah.
I love it, man. You're going to have the best time. And this is your first time coming down here as a band, but have you been
Yeah.
down here before?
One guy from the band have been there before, but as a tourist. So that's also, a new thing for us. For the rest, the four piece, the three of us, the others. So yeah, that's also so it's so much, new vibes going on. So it's like hard to really take it all in. Because it's very nice to come there and it's
Mm.
beautiful. I heard it's like 20 to 25 Celsius on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's
And
freezing.
that's our summer here. It's starting to get like this here, and then we're totally satisfied with the Swedish summer. We maybe have 3 weeks of nice weather. It's like the holy part of the year here. So it's all that and all the really big cities that we're playing in, and the new part of the world. So it's so much stuff to try to take in. So it's and also all the traveling between
Yes.
coming with a flight one day and then leaving with a flight the next day and all the logistics around there. So it's like it's a really tight schedule,
I guess you'd be used to going 3 blocks around the corner and you're in a completely different country. We're here.
Yeah.
It's things are pretty far away. And I guess what do you
Yeah.
expect when you're walking off the plane? Are you expecting like a post-apocalyptic wasteland like Mad Max Australia? Is that what you're expecting? You know,
Nah, no,
almost like
I don't know if we're really gonna see it. We have some shows we're gonna drive between,
yeah.
and those cities. I don't really know them right the dates, but I think it's we're driving down, yeah, from Brisbane down to Sydney, and then we do the second week of the tour. We do driving around, but I think around that area is kind of civilizations, so it's not that far. So there, I know why we probably are flying between some cities because there's nothing in between. I've heard,
Yes. Yes.
but I don't expect the cities look really beautiful. It's like I just checked when we're booking the Airbnb and the hotels, and it's look like they have this old European, of course it's British architecture combined with, but there are like palm trees on the road. It's like what, they don't have that in London really. Though, so it's not London, and it's not the they're more like skyscrapers and stuff. It's like a mix between some parts of Europe and the US, and then the palm trees that makes it like this tropical prices. But it's like, yeah, it's really, looks like big cities, but yeah, amazing.
You're gonna have the best time. I can guarantee. I mean, because this has been a long time coming. For you guys, I know this was meant to happen. Like, was it 3 years ago? Which feels like that. So
Yeah,
it came out of nowhere.
It's really weird, and
yeah,
it's. Can I tell it about the story about this tour? It's like it's kind of weird. I'll take it fast. We were supposed to go 2020, and and everything 3 weeks before the world closed. It was like, yeah, how are we gonna do? We didn't know what it's gonna end, and it was, everyone knows this how it turned out. But then it's like I saw, all the different continents had their different tactics. And Sweden was pretty open. So it was, everything was closed. There was no live music and stuff, but it wasn't like we were what do you call it? Not grounded, but there wasn't a lockdown like that. And then I heard like Australia had another approach, and it took a little bit longer to open up again and be okay. Was it like that? Yeah, they had like a couple of more waves. What do you call it?
Yeah.
And so it was like, yeah, okay. And how when we're gonna do this? We have to do this because everything was planned. There was some organization down here. We got support and stuff. So we were talking to the agency, Christian there, and it was like, yeah, it's uncertain. The market is, all the bands are coming out, all the same time, and it's, kind of the same way it was in Europe because everyone was starting toward the same time, and the biggest bands was, of course, the ones that got the dates first when they opened up. It was like they were at the door already, the week after the government said it's open. Oh, yeah, 3 weeks tour of the biggest bands. But how does this work? It's like, because everyone is depending and making money. So, but it's just weird to see how it worked, when it just opened. And so it was like, when is a good time? You don't know. This uncertainty with all the stuff in the world, but we're going on, and this is what our passion we want to do, and it's the first time in Australia. So even though if we come a perfect time, it wouldn't mean that, of course, if we were supporting a world name, then we would know kind of what to expect. But on our point of view, I don't think it matters that much. Of course, the guys who work with us, who bring us, want to make it as good as possible for us and for us too. But I don't know really if there is a good time if we do a headline tour for a smaller band like us. So I think we have to start somewhere, and the agency are aware of that, and we just have to do it. So really looking forward, and it's great local bands. The organization is really good around everything here. So some shows are going to be packed and some aren't, and that's how it is. So it's the first time here, so we are open to that, and that's why we're really thrilled to go, because we've done everything. We played to 5 people on a goat, and then 5,000 the day after. It's like you have to be open-minded.
Yes.
Like, yeah. So that's the story. But now it's time. It's open. It's safe. But you just do it. You just go.
It's exciting, dude. I can't wait. I can't wait. As I said, I can't wait to see, especially with this latest album, man. Heavy Lies the Crown, which came out last year. But man, what a fucking banger of an album. I don't know if your workmates could hear me swearing and carrying. Who's this?
No, I'm in a locked conference room.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Then I won't walk past going.
Looking at the door, hoping that it's not going to come any meetings. Oh, we booked this room. So, yeah, give me 5,
yeah.
please.
I'm talking to this jerk in Australia to go away. But but the album's phenomenal. Like, my favorite track on there, man, Serpent Days.
Yep.
Man, that when I listened to the album, I went back to that track. It gets me in the feels, dude. It's such a great album, man. Are we going to be hearing? I know you said it's going to be a bit of a diverse set, but are you going to play that one on this trip?
Yeah, we do. That's a typical song that we wouldn't have written 15 years ago. That's a typical song that when we got influenced by other bands, when it took, the fourth, maybe third or fourth record, we're starting to get this kind of more. It's like I'm a big Soundgarden fan also.
Yeah, me too.
And I like this, traveling with and through the music and the albums, and that's a typical. I don't say it's a typical Soundgarden-like song, but more like the later influences that we got when we started, more like Mastodon, and I got more into old Swedish death metal like Entombed and stuff. You can't hear it in that song, but this is one more like a metal epic, with a big chorus, and I always love that, without it's a thin line there between it becoming cheesy and not, but it kind of works in this song. So yeah, we're playing that one, and we're playing more than half of that record. It depends how long are we gonna have a set, the time we have on stage.
How long would it take you to do 6 albums?
One more time?
How long would it take you to do 6 albums?
Jesus. I don't think this one is kind of short. I think it's on like almost only 40 minutes, this album.
Yeah.
It's a short. But really we talked about it before in the band, and we always made these long albums, and some said, yeah, 2 albums back, yeah, it's too long, it's too many songs. And then we said, because it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't the most fun record to do.
Really?
Because because of the pandemic,
Oh, yeah, of course.
we were psyched doing the songs and rehearsed, and it felt good, and nothing happened, and we went back to them, and we had a break, and nothing happened. We went back to them, and when we're back to the first time, and looking back now, when we were back to them the fourth time or third, I don't know, when we did a pre-production, it was the same songs that worked. So it was like, yeah, these are okay and these aren't, And then we went to the studio. The deadline changed a little bit, was pulled back, and it got a little bit stressful, and we did it on weekends and nights. So it was just like putting it on tape. It wasn't like a creative get together where we wrote in the studio. Every part was kind of done. It was just getting the sound together and what we wanted, and the wishes for the production with the producer. So it was a really weird record to make, because it was just like more like work. Normally we have time in the studio and we can be, productive and stuff, but it wasn't like that. But from how it turned out, I don't think, if it was under normal circumstances, the life, it would be anything different from that. Maybe we, production wise, maybe the sound or something, but the ideas we had, we did. And so it was a little bit weird, but the songs work and we play them live. So that's a good proof of, it's not like we just made for that. You have, we have to put out a record and it doesn't work, because those songs exist on other albums also, but many of those songs work. And maybe because we worked on them such a long time, so we know that they work in the set. But if we're going to play them all, I don't know, 50 times 250, I don't know.
Long time, dude.
4 hours, maybe 4 hours.
Okay.
I would.
Let's just say that's how long you're playing for on the Gold Coast.
Yeah. We have to, cover. We have to cover our whole career here. Well, we don't know when we're coming back. Take a share.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, pull up a bit. We're not stopping. But oh man, I'm excited. I'm very excited. As I said, I really like this new one. I think it's got a lot of heart. And I
thank you. Very nice to hear. Yeah, it's always.
Yeah, it's one of those albums. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's you don't just hear it. It's not just got bangers, but it's also, when I say heart, like you feel the album as well. So that's
great to hear, because you to judge it yourself, it's like, it's not possible, It's better to hear it from other people that have another angle on it. It's like, it's classic. You cannot judge your own album like that, because they're very different, all our albums.
Yeah. Are you bringing some vinyl down for us?
Yeah, actually,
Records?
another funny thing, we had merch lying around in Melbourne for 3 years. So everything that is done, so we're just bringing the new record with us now. So we have all our stuff there in Melbourne already. So we're gonna have not for the first show. We are gonna have the new record then, but then we're gonna meet up with some guys in Melbourne. Then we're gonna have all the merch that we got.
Mad. Because I'll
Hmm?
have to swing you some dollars. I want to get it on
Would
file.
be
Mm.
yeah, great.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be so good. But of course, next year is the big
Yeah,
20 for you guys.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We did 20. Yeah, it's a little bit
Technically,
fuzzy run. Yeah, it's some 2004 we started first release we when we did a 15-year celebration it was 2020. So yeah, somewhere you're right. Somewhere down there. It's a little bit weird, when we yeah. it's it's how you count, from the
yeah, yeah.
first release or when we start. Yeah, but yeah, let's say it's next year. Yeah.
Let's call that. But
Yeah.
of course, I mean, have you got to run in a sec? You got to get back
No,
to.
no. I'm okay. I'm at lunch break.
Oh, I don't want to ruin your lunch. Have you had a feed yet? You had your
Yeah, yeah. All
you
good.
did.
All good.
I didn't want to
All
ruin
good.
your lunch, brother, because that's a
No, no. I picked the time. I
yeah.
so all good. All good.
Nothing worse than going back to work hungry. But of course, the 20 years is a long time either
Yeah.
either side for any band. That's such a great achievement, especially, these days. It's such a struggle,
Mm.
to get out there. You know, what's the one thing that you've learnt in that 20 years that you think that's going to carry you into the next 20 or 30?
Yeah, the thing is that we had a couple of members now coming and going, and yeah,
Mm,
I said, the main thing is actually I have the passion for music, and I'm a songwriter. I'm not particularly good, and I play some drums and I play guitar and I sing. It's like I like to write songs. But apart from that, being that I have to write, that is to create music. That's the passion, the big passion for me. But I think to keep it together as a band, it's really important to have fun. That's the most important thing. If it gets to a level where it's only like logistics and work and just fights, and you don't agree on everything, and you're not on the same level, and you're not really, everything that can go not wrong, but it's the normal struggle with a band, especially if you're not full-time musicians. I think it's really important to keep the good vibe and have fun together. Even though if people quit also in the band because their life took another turn, they had another job, or they started, didn't have time because of family and stuff, and all the regular stuff that makes it that they can't combine this life with that, because it's a money issue. They have to work that it's works with being on the road. But I think the main thing is, as long as you think it's fun, and I've never thought of it, that it's hard work, because I put a lot of time every day into this band, but I've never felt like it's a struggle, or if it's hard, or of course, because you get on a certain level where that it's you can't be disappointed.
mm,
you know
yeah,
you just keep going and do what you do, and because the business is so uncertain, there are no rules really, and it's so much that works in another way compared to other businesses, that it's not like logic, or how they're not really like, you can't compare the music business to anything else really. So the main thing, as long as I think I will always write music, and I love doing it in DeVille. And as long as we have fun, I think we can keep it going. But I think there must be small things to look forward to, like we have this now. We've done the US, we've done Europe so many times. Of course, our 15 years anniversary was a big thing, and closing our hometown, city festival. And you have these landmarks, playing with some of your, the house, what do you call house gods? So, the bands that you look up to. I think a thing like this, Australia, is definitely a thing to that makes the band going to be able to experience this and remember, and hopefully it's going to be amazing. So this to be able to do these things for a band like us makes it all worth it, because it's not. Of course, it's good when the bands are surviving, and we are on a certain level where there is some money in it, but we always invest that in other tours or stuff, or like this, we invest a lot of our money. So we don't really take any salary from our company. We just keep it and see what we can do the next step if we're gonna do a tour. So I mean, to have thing like this, like Australia, means a lot to the band to keep it going, and you have to have to have something to look forward to. I think it's also. But it's not all. It doesn't come for free. You have to, struggle and find the people that believe in you and want to work with you. So it's not that easy. Just say, there was a tour and we were looking forward. It's like a lot of work behind. So have those things and keep the good vibe in the band. I think then you can go as long as you want. Yeah, it's hard to say, but there wasn't any question when people were quitting that we're gonna stop. Of course, some members were harder to replace than others.
Yes.
Especially, the drummers were hard, because I started with the band with my cousin. He's an amazing drummer, and he recorded all our records except he's a sound engineer, except for the last one. So he was a hard place to replace, because he understood. We grew up together. The influences with Matt Cameron, and he had it, and Dave Grohl and all this stuff with those kind of drummers that I was brought up with during the 90s. So that's but still we never had there were never discussion of that we're gonna quit because someone quit in the band, because we always had something on the horizon to look forward to, and we love playing live. So it's hard to say. As long as we have that, I think we can go on until we don't want to anymore. So.
And hopefully that's just forever. I know what it's like, dude. That's exactly what it is. It gives you something to look forward to. Always. Yeah. That's why I do this thing and I do the band thing as well, because you're right. It's actually, I've just had a bit of a revelation here talking to you about it. It gives me something to look forward to on a daily basis. So that my mind is blown. So I'm glad.
Yeah. And it should work, with the money and everything, but it's never about that, because then it's not the way to do a career, because it's so uncertain. But it must work with the money also, and we are at the level that we can invest in new projects, but it's never the first thing that we think of. It's how is this what kind of experience is this for us? Is it something that we want to do? So it's always that first. It's not like, how much money do we get? It's like that's never the first question.
That's
so,
right.
So I think as long as we have it because it's not a full time, I think, it's because we have the passion for it, and everyone is at the same level in the band right now. So that's great, and it makes it a lot easier also, because everyone have to take responsibility. It's like a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that one, dude. I know that one for sure. But of course, one last question. The big question is, what's next, dude? Like after Australia, if you're not going to just stay here because you're going to love it so much, what's the future hold for you? And
could happen.
I reckon it will. You're just going to go, it's too good.
Yeah. We have this tour, and we come back. late June, and then we have a festival down in Europe, in Croatia, with with Monster Magnet headlining and another big, Orange Goblin playing. Yeah, in Croatia, a real nice festival. And then we have some smaller shows, and then we do more festivals at the end of the summer and our summer here in August and September. And then we'll see what comes up. We have some, we're gonna do some changing with the logistics, we'll see who, will be in charge of who the touring and booking and everything like that, because that's tough. That's also a thing that you can't really, you have always this big expectations on. So we will see how we're going to take it further, who we're going to work with, and everything, because it's hard to say, but we're going to play through the autumn, and then we're going to have a little break. There's a guy who's becoming a father in the band. And then the first one, so it's big for him, so I respect that. I have myself, so I know. He needs like a couple of days off.
We're going through.
I said a week, maximum a week. Then we need to. Now it gets a little more, but it gets more time, but it's later that year, and then we're gonna say. But the thing is that we keep on playing, and we have a really good set now. And the thing is to come back to that we have so many songs now, so you can alternate the set, and you don't get tired of the songs. So we did last autumn, we did a European tour, and we played all the new songs from record, and a kind of headlining tour. But we want to do another one on this record as well, hopefully next year. So we're gonna do that after we're back in business early next year. So it's like we're gonna keep this rolling now, and it feels really good. We have Erik who took over. We did a chess move in the band. Martin, who played the bass, he took over the guitar. He's originally a guitarist, so and he knew the songs. So it was an easy move. So he took the lead guitar now, and we have a new guy on bass since Vulcan quit on the guitar a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. So we get this train running now quite good, or you can say that expression. Now we have this thing going. We're kind of warmed up, and so we want to do something more, and then we'll see. Because, but in my head, I'm like already, that's almost a year ahead. So we're gonna do that. Then we'll see what happens, because it depends who you work with and what plans they have for us, and if it's realistic and stuff. But we definitely gonna see how the Australia tour turns out, and what hopefully positive effects it has on us as a band. To be able to say that we toured Australia, we toured the US, and we toured Europe. It's a big thing for a band like us. So that's the plan for as far as I have it in my head.
That's a lot of plans, man. That's a lot of plans.
Yeah, but you can't just plan for the next week, and you have to
long term
be ahead.
Absolutely. We're going through the baby thing too very soon. Well,
you have to welcome, wish him luck down there.
Yeah,
Martin, the guy with the fender and the long hair, just say good luck, man, in November. And it's like,
I'm gonna buy him a shot on the Gold Coast. I will buy him a shot for it. That's what we'll do, and I'll buy you a beer as well.
I'm only, I'm gonna scare him a lot. It's gonna be so tough, man. You can never do. Nah, it's not. It's gonna be good. Nah, so we have a little break there, but it's so that's the plan for right now. We'll see.
Well, man, I tell you what. In the meantime, though, we're gonna keep the beers nice and cold for you and ready to go, brother. Thank you so much for hanging out.
We love that. And thank you so much for having me. Awesome.
And Enjoy the rest of your day. And Gold Coast, I'll have the links to everything down here. But on the Gold Coast, let's catch up for a beer, huh? Let's do that.
Beautiful. Thank you. Cheers.
See you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.